Hello and welcome back to the channel, the PROWIRC Method, where we discuss the concepts from the book, Happiness and Well-Being Through Balance and Progress, the PROWIRC Method. Today we're going to talk more about the personal mission statement, and I have people ask me from time to time, when you're doing this personal mission statement, how do you actually, come up with the ideas for the mission statement? How do you write a mission statement if you don't know what your mission is? Or if you're having one of those time periods, do you ever have one of those sort of crossroads that you get to where, you're not exactly even sure where your interest lies, what your goals should be, what your personal mission statement would even read like, or what would be a personal mission statement that would relate to you? Because every once in a while, you could come to a crossroads where you think to yourself, okay, things are kind of not working in my life the way they are, and I want to dramatically change them. And so, yes, I'd like to have a personal mission statement, and I'd like to use that to vet my goals, and I'd like to do the things that we're talking about in the channel here, the PROWIRC Method, but I don't know. I can't seem to come up with a mission statement. So we're going to use the techniques from the book, and we're just going to go over that in a little more detail here and help you work on that mission statement today. So the next thing I'm going to also do is I'm going to reread you the mission statement statements that I came up with when I was doing the same exercise, and the statements that I utilize for my mission statement to this day. And we'll also deconstruct those a little bit and talk about how they relate sort of to the book and to me and to my life and how I use those. And so the first thing we're going to do is get right back into the concept of how to come up with your personal mission or your personal mission statement. And the first thing is I would like you to consider this question right here. And I'm actually gonna read it right out of the book, because this is the question that we're first going to get you to answer. And the question is, how would you define your ideal life experience? How should it feel each day? And what are the various ideal conditions that go with it? Okay? Now, that seems like a big question. I'm going to read it one more time. How would you define your ideal life experience? How should it feel each day? And what are the various ideal conditions that go with it? Now, before we set about to answer that question with an exercise that we're going to use, a creative exercise actually, I would like to give you some parameters for this. And the only parameters that I'm going to give you are in the time period that you're going to spend writing down the ideas for the potential mission statement for you. Is I don't want you to mention any particular persons, any particular places, or any particular things. So in other words, it's interesting when you first bring that up. A person's like, oh, okay, because my missions are, I want to specifically do this, and I want to specifically acquire that, and I specifically want to, acquire this, get to be that with that person. These are my missions, and those, I would say, are absolutely not your mission statement, your personal mission statement information at all. Those would be your goals. Those would be things that you would use your personal mission statement to acid test to see if these goals are actually going in the direction of the life that suits you. Now, so once again, we're going to take a few minutes and we're going to say, okay, how would you define your ideal life experience, and how should it feel each day, and what are the various ideal conditions that go with it? We're not going to mention personal places and things, but the other part of the technique we're going to use is the technique that we use in our creative exercises, and that is we're just going to write down as many statements as we can think of in 5 minutes. So set up a thing, 5 minutes. Don't try to come up with the best answers like we do in every one of our creative exercises that we do here in the PROWIRC Method. We don't just try to come up with you know, the best idea, the best statement, the best thing. What we do is we set together aside the time, 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and whatever you would like to do. And you're going to sit down and set a little timer, a clock on your phone or whatever, and just write down every statement that you can think of. Okay? And it's going to be, how would you define your best life experience, and how would you like it to feel every day, and what are the various ideal conditions that go with it, without mentioning any persons, places, or things. So you might want to put the video on pause and do that now. Also, when you're doing it, if you forget the question, or if you forget, you could pause. But the truth of it is, if you go over the question a few times first, you should probably at least take the 5 or 10 minutes and just write all the statements out that you think really clearly define that, and do them in point form. Do a little bullet point. Whoop! I whacked my microphone there. Do a little bullet point, and then write a statement beside it. Do a bullet point, write a statement beside it, and just do that for 5 or 10 minutes. Okay. So we're assuming that you did that now. Now the next part of this is to go back and to say, okay, now I'm trying to get in touch with the way I feel about this, and this is an internally driven mission. So when I look back over all of the things that I have done there, let's read over the ones and think, these are the ones that I think relate the most to me. The things that I think I cannot do without, or I would not want to do without in my mission in my life. Things that, when I read these things, I think, yeah, anything that I do has to work its way along with this. It can't be in contravention of any of these statements, any goals I pick. So you're going to go through and you're going to pick about, a half a dozen of these statements that you think are probably the best ones that really encapsulate that. Now, that takes a little work on your part, but this is a big concept that you're looking at here, and this is something that's going to add a lot of power to you and a lot of power to your life. And it's amazing these days with people like answers that they can listen to in 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. I had a guy actually told me that, sometimes when you're describing your concepts or things you want people to do, it sounds like a little bit of work. People just like things that they can do that aren't work at all. They don't want to put in any effort, and they don't want to do anything. Well, yeah, I don't think that's where we're at here today. Once people are at the point of saying, no, I want to make real change, or I want to make serious change, there's going to be some effort. So this exercise that you've just done is putting in some effort. And so you're going to go through all the, you probably wrote a page and a half of these bullet points, and you go through and you pick the 5 or 6 best ones. And this is a place to start with your personal mission statement. If you start off with those and you start, working your goals against those and using those statements to acid test your goals, you're going to find that your direction, there gets to be a lot more continuity in the direction that you choose for your life and your goals, and it relates better to what you're going to enjoy. Now, the next part I'm going to do here just quickly is I'm going to read the statements that I kept for myself. Now, when I also did these statements, and I've written them right, I've put them right in the book. It's no secret what they are. I actually also did the thing where I wrote down a ton of statements, and then I picked, what do I have here? 4 or 5. I've got 6 statements here that I decided, no, these encapsulate it the best, and I'm going to work with these 6 statements. And I'll tell you, from the time I wrote them down, I haven't changed them. Actually, I haven't changed them at all. Once I put them in the book, I'm using them. I had written them for the book. I've been using them then. I put them in the book. I'm still using them now. And I'll tell you, when I use them, I'm confident. If a thing fits within this parameter, that it's not an externally driven goal or idea. It's something that I internally want to do. It's something that suits me. So here are the items that I wrote down when I did that same exercise. So here's the experiences and the feelings that I want to have in my life on a daily basis. First of all, a feeling on a daily basis of general happiness and well-being, enjoying life with the physical and mental health and power to achieve my goals and objectives. So the physical and mental health and power. Now, that also, when I go through these 6 statements, what you're going to also notice is that if you look at the PROWIRC method, being that here's areas of your life that you need to keep in progress and in balance, and we go power, relationships, organization, wealth, image, relaxation, and creativity. What you're going to find out is that these statements relate to those things a lot. Now, also, in the future of wanting, if you want to regroom your mission statements and that kind of thing, you can actually use those 7 areas also to look at those mission areas and say, oh, what does this help to keep in progress? Is there some area from my PROWIRC, from those 7 areas of life that I want to keep in balance and I want to keep in progress? Is there some area from that missing from my mission statement? In which case, then you would brainstorm another set of mission statement ideas to go with that, and then you would pick the best one and you would put it in there, because you want your mission statement to be personal to you. You want it to also cover these 7 areas of your life that we want to keep in progress. So again, with the first one being a feeling on a daily basis of general happiness and well-being, enjoying life, the physical and mental health and power to achieve my goals and objectives. That obviously relates to the P in PROWIRC, the power, mental and physical power. Okay, the next one I have here is being and feeling consistently and constructively productive in my endeavors. So I want to feel productive in my endeavors consistently, but I also want to be constructive in my endeavors consistently. I mean, obviously that means that whatever I think I want my endeavors to be, I'm not just dreaming about them or writing them down, but I'm moving them into my schedule, and I'm going to be constructively productive on those things. That also could work with your power. That can, that's certainly when you have the progress of being productive, you're going to have the feeling of well-being. That suits, obviously rolls with the whole concept of the book as well. Now, the next one I have written down here is an overall experience of joy and contentment in love and family. Now, I mean, this is, when we're talking mission statement, that is a mission. I don't know a person that does not want to have an overall experience of joy and contentment in love and family. This is a thing that you don't want to take any goals that work against that. Okay? Now, that part of your mission statement obviously relates to our relationships in your PROWIRC method. The next one I have is to participate in activities which cause me to experience my personal areas of interest firsthand, contributing where I can through my various endeavors and effort. Okay, so this idea of participating in activities to experience my personal interests firsthand. This is a thing, again, where as I find things I'm interested in, I want to actually, first of all, pursue things that I'm interested in, find things I'm interested in, which we can use our methods here that we use. We can use our creative methods that we use for that. And you can go out and just say, I'm going to try new things. I'm going to try, things that are different. But then we're going to want to participate in these activities and contributing where I can through my various endeavors and efforts. So some of the things that I do, for instance, creatively, whatever, might have just been done for me. And so they're going to contribute to my life. Some of the things, like when I wrote this book, might contribute to other people's lives. I put in there, contributing where I can through my various endeavors and efforts, where I can contributing. I don't want to have some big pressureful thing that I can't do. The personal mission statement is mostly for me, my person. How do I want my life to be? How I want that to feel, and how do I want to enjoy that every day? The next one I have here is a consistent experience of inspiration and expression, utilizing the power of creativity. So very regularly, and this is very personal to me, I would suggest that you consider utilizing the power of your creativity very regularly and having that as a personal, sort of thing for you in the way that you like to approach it. But again, mine is a consistent experience of inspiration and expression using the power of creativity. Obviously, that relates to the power of creativity here. And again, the experience and expression. So I want to experience my creativity but not just internally, and then I want to express it. So if I'm coming up with creative ideas, I want to write them down, I want to type them up, I want to I come up with creative projects, I want to do them. That is the expression. The expression is doing them. Okay? And then the last one that I have here is a secure and independent financial position at a level consistent with achieving the goals that I choose for my life. Okay. Now, this is obviously relates to the concept of wealth. Okay? In your PROWIRC method. The W is for wealth. Now, this is my description relating to wealth, and I'm going to just read it again. A secure and independent financial position at a level consistent with achieving the goals I choose for my life. Now, I didn't just say, oh, I want to be a millionaire. Oh, I want to be a billionaire. Oh, I want to be a random number heir. Oh, I picked up a book that says, I could be a billionaire. It's very interesting that probably very few people. Are there people out there that just could literally be relate to and motivated by the single concept of one number they would like to reach with their actual finances and whatever? Yeah, there probably are those people out there. Over the years, I mean, some of the people like John D. Rockefeller, and you could probably go over some other people. But they also probably had other motivations outside of the number. But to actually, I've seen so many concepts for success and well-being that are, basically let's call it success because I don't think they're talking that much about well-being. But where the people say, oh, just take a number. I want $1 billion. I mean, I've literally heard it recently. Someone say, oh, my goal is I want to have $1 billion. Well, I would be willing to bet they don't even have a clear concept of what $1 billion is. I mean, by now there's people who do. People like, we know people that are billionaires wherever they have the concept of that. But even those people did not get there by saying that's what I want to do. Those people, they had their own personal missions in life. And then they went out and based on that came up with ideas of things they wanted to do with their life. And then they also had business missions past that. And as a byproduct, they typically became very wealthy that way. I'm going to say that probably 99% of people cannot in any way get emotionally related to or motivated to a goal that is simply a number. I don't believe in that. And I believe that I know there's a lot of books here that are going to be disagreeing with that. So we were going to think, oh no, it's absolutely, you just write down a number on a tag and whatever. Okay, go ahead. I've read all those books and I tried that a million times in my life. And I found that, wow, if you're using that for your motivation, you're going to have to come up with a lot of your own gusto every day because you're not going to have that natural power that moves you ahead based on your interests and based on what you're passionate about and all that kind of thing. So again, this is before we even get into goals and specific interests and that kind of thing, a mission statement. So on that wealth one again, I'm just going to break it down a little bit more for you here. A secure and independent financial position. Obviously, that means, independent is being financially independent means you have enough money doing what you do to, and then I qualified it further, a level consistent with achieving the goals I choose for my life. So that's the independent wealth that I want to have. What do I consider to be independently wealthy for me is I can do what I want to do and generate the money to do that and have the money to do that, without, obviously the independent part becomes when you don't have to do any of the things that you no longer just can't stand doing or doing things, for a job because you've gotten to the point where you are, your interests have aligned in such a way that what you're doing every day is, carrying you forward, financially. And that's a goal for me. If I can have enough money to feel independent financially and use the money to achieve whatever goals I want to do. Now, whatever that might want to be. Now, you might have some big goals that you choose in your life, and they might take a fair amount of money to do that. You'll have to determine, how much money that is and that kind of thing. But those will be the numbers. Now, If you come up with numbers for that, that's an entirely different thing. Will those numbers motivate you? Are you going to are they going to qualify the things that you're going to do and the things that you're going to attempt? And are they going to help it? Yes, they are. You are going to have an emotional connection to those numbers, because those numbers are going to be related to goals and objectives, that you have in your life. So I'm just going to quickly go over here again, the idea of the mission statement that we're doing. What you did was you answered the question, how would you define your ideal life experience? How should it feel each day? And what are the various ideal conditions to go with that? You did that for about 10 minutes, if you could, 5 if you couldn't spare it. And then you came up with a ton of them. And then you chose a half a dozen of the statements that most related to you and your person. And you thought, wow, these are the things. If I'm going to pick this one over that one and that one over this one, and I'm going to get to 6 of them that I think are the best. And then I'm going to go over that with my PROWIRC method here and say, oh, are my various areas of my PROWIRC represented here? Now, by the way, I didn't mention a couple of the areas, but when we talked here about being consistently constructively productive, and also to participate in activities which cause me to experience my personal areas of interest. Again, in the PROWIRC method, in the areas of organization, we talk about what are we organizing? Are we organizing things we just randomly came across that we just picked for no reason? Are we organizing things that we've habitually done for years, even if they don't relate to us at all? No, we groom those down. And we get to things, the heart of the matter of things that we can do that really relate to who we are. Now, so basically, what else? Do I have any other letters that I haven't gotten to here? Oh, let's see. Well, the only other letter that I haven't mentioned from the PROWIRC thing is the letter I, which stands for image, where you try to keep your image in progress. And, again, with your image, you're going to be looking for continuity, and how that also relates to this mission statement. But here's an interesting thing about that. If you want to find out what your image is or what you would like it to be, read those 6 points. From there, the 6 points you've chosen, they're going to give you an image of what that person is, what is important to them, who they are, and that's who you want to be. So this is a way of coming up with a mission statement. I know I jumped around a little bit in it. These videos, by the way, I never edit them. I come up with ideas and points I want to talk about, but I want to do it with like a discussion with you. It's not to hype you. It's not to get you to do something you don't want to do. It's not to tell you what to do. It is to get you to have a system whereby you can look at these things like, gee, I need help with my mission statement. Well, here's some techniques that you can use, and then you can actually come up with a personal mission statement. And remember, our difference between a personal mission statement and a business mission statement is a business mission statement is the business relates the statement to their clients. What do we want to provide for them? How do we want to make them feel? And, what's their relationship with that going to be? And your personal mission statement is, how does this relate to me? How do I want my life to feel? And how do I want that to function? And how do I want the experience of that to be every day? Now, just at the end of this, I'm going to quickly just tell you a mantra that we have put on the channel if you haven't seen any of the things before. And I've been using this mantra a lot. And a lot of people are using the mantra that are looking at the videos, reading the book, and I find it very helpful. And the mantra is this: I am a unique being, separate from my situation. I possess the godlike power of creativity, and I choose the power of creativity and thankfulness over fear, apprehension, or anxiety every minute of every day. Anyway, good luck using these ideas. I know that you're going to come up with a great mission statement based on 6 of the most important concepts from the creative exercise that you did, writing 5 to 10 minutes worth of them. And I know you're going to have an interesting reflection on your life there, and it's going to help you move forward. Thanks for coming out to the PROWIRC method, and have a great day.